Slashaholics. Welcome to Slash Sisters. I am Slash Sister Jen.
And that makes me Slash Sister Hallie. We want to welcome you back to Sorry. I have had dental work done, and my speech syntax is just not where it should be.
She makes excuses, but she always does this, so don't listen to her.
I will kill you.
She stumbles over words all the time.
I will kill you.
No, you can't kill me.
Anyway, I want to welcome you back to the channel for true horror movie reviews by true horror movie fans.
That's
I'll get
right.
There. I'll fucking get there.
Yeah. And if this is your first time here, welcome!
You good? Okay.
Yeah. Hey, all you Slashaholics. Welcome to Slash Sisters. I'm Slash Sister Jen.
And that makes me Slash Sister Hallie, and we want to welcome you back to the channel for true horror movie reviews by true horror movie fans. See, I told you I'd get there.
I know. You always do eventually. And if this is your first time here, welcome! We are glad you're...
You good? You ready to record this or what?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You sure?
Hey,
You don't look ready.
Slashaholics. Welcome to Slash Sisters. I'm Slash Sister Jen.
I think she's suffering from too much brain trauma.
Well, that's always been apparent.
And that makes me Slash Sister Hallie, and we want to welcome you back to the channel for horror movie reviews by true horror movie fans.
And if this is your first time here, welcome! We do lots of fun horror stuff here, so make sure you slash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the fun horror stuff we do right here on our channel.
Now, in case you haven't caught on yet, because let's face it, you'd have to be oblivious not to have witnessed the shenanigans that were just had.
Yeah.
Slash Sister Jen over there seems to be caught in some type of time loop. Again, much like the character in this film we are getting ready to review today.
It seems so, Hallie. Maybe if we do this review and I figure out who the killer is, we can find a way to get me out of this time loop.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go ahead and dig right into the second helping of Happy Death Day to You.
To you. Anyways, to you.
I absolutely hate that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's such a 90s cliche.
I know, but it's kind of fun and I love it. We open our story on college student Ryan Fan, who wakes up in his car on September 19th.
Returning to his dorm, he walks in on his roommate Carter and Carter's girlfriend, Tree, who kick him out immediately, not even allowing him to change his clothes.
I'm not sleeping in my car again. It smells like Hot Pockets and feed. Get out! I just want clean underwear!
He resumes work on an experimental quantum reactor with fellow students Samar and Dre. What they're trying to do is slow down time. That's what they're trying to do.
And anybody that has studied quantum mechanics knows that quantum means time. Or something very, very tiny,
Yes.
as in Ant-Man Quantum Mania.
Right? Yeah.
Bronson, the school dean, bursts into their lab and shuts down the project for causing several power outages and has shown to have...
Consider this joke of a project suspended, effective immediately.
What?
...no practical applications thus far. Because, let's face it, he's in it for the money, not the actual fucking science.
Yeah, and he fucking says it.
No, I mean, he said... Well, they ask him about, like, what about the actual science of this? You're just here to make money. And he's like, duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. That dean, I tell ya.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Immediately after this, Ryan starts receiving text messages with pictures of himself.
Like,
leading him,
right as...
Literally, like...
Seconds.
Yeah. Pictures of himself where he sits. Which lead him into the chem lab.
Ryan is then murdered by somebody dressed as school mascot Babyface.
That one.
He then suddenly wakes up in his car again on the 19th of September. Do you remember?
The 19th day of September. That's 2 days after Jenny's birthday. Okay, anyways. And 1 day after Tree's, because hers is the 18th and so is her mom's. You're welcome.
See, shenanigans will be had.
Yes. Ryan realizes that he is in a time loop while in his dorm with Tree and Carter. And Tree realizes that the time loop stopped for her but started for Ryan.
Tree explains her experience reliving September 18th, and she and Carter agree to help Ryan. I'll be honest, the fact that you have to try to convince these people that do not know you to help you, like she does it over and over
again.
Like
yeah.
she basically is now like a student of quantum mechanics.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the end of this, she's smarter than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Because they teach her everything.
Everything.
I mean, I actually really love this movie. Anyways, not to spoil my machete. They learn the reactor was responsible for having created the loop.
Yesterday, 12:01 a.m.
In order to keep Ryan safe from the Babyface Killer, they go to a basketball game at their school because safety in fucking numbers.
Yeah. But then a fire alarm goes off, making everybody evacuate.
And not to mention that this is the fucking school mascot. So there are
tons
multiple
of people dressed as Babyface.
multiples.
Yes. Yes. So the masked killer, is able to track Ryan down, because he pulled the fire alarm and forced everybody to evacuate.
Mm-hmm. Tree's able to track them down and unmask the Babyface Killer to reveal another Ryan.
What?
Split timeline.
Yeah.
So now not only are we dealing with a time loop, but multiple timelines and multiple variations.
And the multiverse.
And the
Yeah. Anyways, the second Ryan warns
I was trying to close the loop, but somehow I got knocked into a parallel time loop.
them that the original must die for the loop to close.
I would like to know how he came by and can quantify that as the only solution to the fucking problem.
Yeah, because clearly it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because he just keeps ending up in the same time loop.
Uh-huh.
Because the first time he killed him, he ended up in the same time loop.
Uh-huh.
You don't understand what you're doing! Shut up, fake Ryan!
Anyways, terrified, Ryan activates the reactor, releasing an energy pulse that knocks everyone to the floor. Knocks everyone unconscious.
Tree then wakes up in Carter's room on September 18th and relives her original time loop from the previous film. And she is clearly, and rightfully so, enraged.
Ryan! You dumbass! This sucks! It sucks the biggest mega balls in the history of shitty ball suckery!
Yeah, she literally just got out of it, like, what, hours before?
Well, I mean, it would be like waking up the next day, so yeah. Like, maybe at the most 7 hours.
This poor thing. Could you imagine? I would be angry! Absolutely angry.
I would be ready to murder somebody. Literally murder somebody.
Tree soon realizes, though, that things are different in this time loop because she realizes that Carter is now dating Danielle. Now, if you don't remember Danielle, she was that super fucking obnoxious one from the first movie who, like,
The head of the sorority house that Tree is in.
Yeah, she's obnoxious. Anyways.
So Ryan theorizes that the reactor caused Tree to drift into an adjacent dimension, becoming tantamount to the multiverse.
Yeah, I mean, he takes a piece of paper, folds it into 6 pieces, pushes a piece of paper through it. I mean, there's lots of different. Anyways, Tree leaves to go have her birthday lunch with her dad. And when she sits down at the restaurant, her dad tells the waiter that they're waiting for one more person.
That's when Tree's mom, who had died in the previous reality, walks in and sits down at the table as if nothing was different, as if she had never died. because in this timeline, this branched reality, she did not.
Yeah. Which is like... First off, just seeing her mom walk in gave me an emotional reaction. Like, I can't imagine, like, you have lost a parent. I've lost a husband. I can't imagine how breathtaking that would feel to see someone that has been dead in your life for a long time.
I don't know how I would react.
I don't know either. I would
probably
freak the
faint.
fuck out. Yeah.
I would probably faint, and I don't faint easily.
Yeah.
I would probably faint from shock.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe. Realizing that her mother is alive in this reality, she basically just decides she wants to stay here. Like, she pretty much makes that decision up right away. Like, I'm gonna stay here.
That night, Tree goes to the hospital to intercept serial killer John Toombs before he escapes, but she is confronted by a police officer. I don't know what the fuck she thought was gonna happen walking in there with that goddamn axe.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, seriously.
But the killer then kills the officer, and Tree runs into Lori at the elevator and realizes that in this reality, Lori is not the killer. Interesting.
Lori tells Tree that the killer cannot be Toombs because she just took him for surgery.
Yeah. Interesting. The killer then stabs Lori and chases Tree up to the roof where she accidentally falls to her death.
Well, she's also handcuffed behind a fucking
Yeah,
back.
yeah, true, because the cop cuffed her, right? Yeah.
The cop cuffed her after he got her to drop the fucking axe.
Yeah.
But before the cuffs could come off,
Yeah.
the killer chases her all the way to the roof,
Yeah.
and she, in her infinite wisdom at this point, inadvertently runs off the fucking roof.
Darn it. As if she didn't know she was about to wake up.
Well, I mean, as a result of this happening, she wakes up at the beginning of her time loop and demands that Ryan and his team help her escape it.
Yeah.
Again, trying to convince random people that you've never talked to before that you caused what's happening and you have to fucking fix this. In a matter of literally, like, maybe an hour or two.
Yeah.
So they have the rest of the day to figure out what to fucking do.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, later in the movie, it becomes more and more, like, extreme, the amount of things that she knows. You know what I mean? Like, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, unfortunately, they don't really know what caused the time loop to happen in the first place, so they don't really know how to close the time loop.
At this point in time, I actually do know what caused the time loop to start. Because they said that when Ryan first went into the quantum lab, right, his partners on the project said that Sissy, the name of the quantum machine that they're building, fired at midnight on the 18th. 12:01 on the 18th. That firing of Sissy is what created the initial time loop that got Tree stuck in.
Right.
So that's how it started. They
Yeah,
don't
definitely.
address
They
it.
don't know how, like, why it started.
They don't know why it
They don't-
fired in
yeah.
the first place, but that's what started the
Yeah.
initial timeline.
Right.
Or the initial time loop, sorry.
Right.
We are talking about multiple different time
Yeah,
mechanics here.
there's
so.
a lot. And different days also. Multiple
Yeah,
times
Amy
in
has
this
a
movie
hard
as well.
time following with, like, movies that bounce around with different timelines.
Yeah, but this one
and,
was
and
pretty
time
easy
loop.
to follow, I think.
She still had trouble
Did
with it.
you? Okay. Understandable. So yeah, because they don't know exactly what caused it, now they have to try and figure out the algorithm.
Right. This means they have to test not just dozens, hundreds.
Yeah.
If not thousands of different algorithms. Sorry. At Carter's suggestion, Tree serves as the group's recorder because there is no way to track their progress.
Yeah, because she's the only one who can
Remember what has happened on the previous go-through on this time
so they
loop.
don't keep doing the same algorithm over and over and over and over again. She has to record their progress.
She has to memorize each individual algorithm that is
and
a
write
failure.
it down every single day too. So literally, like, she's getting like a solid education in quantum physics.
Right.
Quantum mechanics.
She's quite literally killing herself. Literally and figuratively killing herself to find the right algorithm so they can start.
So that they can
end
close the
this.
loop.
Right.
Yeah. This is where we get a hilarious montage of fucking gnarly deaths where she jumps off a bell tower at some point. At one point, she goes skydiving in a bikini, and that's it. She just jumps out of the airplane.
So I have a problem with that scene.
Yeah.
Because the guy that was still standing there was the fucking instructor.
Yeah.
Right? We're assuming that she'd never been skydiving before. You do not jump by yourself on your first dive. But he would have never allowed her to even get close to that fucking door.
No way. No.
Dressed the way that she was.
There's a lot of things in this movie where I had to be like, all right.
They had to take certain liberties.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure. Like later when she drives into the like power station, it's like
well,
no way that's like not like that.
No, but like I mean.
Anyways, she also what are some of the other good ones? She jumps headfirst into a wood chipper. That was a good one. When she does the skydiving, her body lands next to Carter and Danielle, which is fucking hilarious.
And she's flipping off the camera
yeah.
when she does it, which is, I mean,
so
that,
funny.
to me, that breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely very funny.
Eventually, as did happen in the first film, all of these injuries catch up with her. One morning, she wakes up in Carter's bed and ends up fainting again.
Yes. This time she wakes up in the hospital. Tree realizes that she is where she's at and what time it is, and steals a gun from a cop and goes after Toombs, only to find that Lori is already dead. This time.
It's also important to note that the doctor that was overseeing her, who was her teacher that she was having an affair with in the opposite
other
timeline,
reality. Yes,
does not know who the fuck she is.
Yeah,
which means that she's not there for medical. She's not there studying to be a doctor anymore.
Oh. I didn't think about that. Good call.
Toombs, disguised as the Babyface, and I don't mean the hip-hop producer, attacks and Tree shoots him dead. However, a second Babyface Killer appears, forcing Tree to kill herself and the killer.
Interesting. I have to say, I knew who the killer was real early in the movie.
I honestly didn't see it.
Really?
I didn't see it.
Oh man, I knew way early in the movie. Way early. Anyways, we're gonna carry on.
Looking back on it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, the signs were there. I just did not see it, especially playing out the way that it did.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. The group finally discovers the correct algorithm after days and days and days and days of
Fucking probably at least a month.
Yeah.
worth.
After a masterful display from Tree, like, she comes in and, like, draws everything up on that board, and they're all just like...
Well, there's only one option left.
Yeah. So they figure out that there's only one option left, and, yeah, they go to run the program.
They go to run the program, and all of the code erases. And Ryan has to retype it all.
Yeah, because Samara was looking at Corno on the computer. What an asshole. Anyways, so yeah, Ryan ends up having to rewrite the entire code, which, what did he say? It take him 6 or 7 hours, isn't that what he said?
Right, at least 6 hours.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was the next line.
Tree is now faced with the choice of which reality she wants to be in.
Just so we're totally clear, one variant closes the loop in this dimension, and the other one sends you back to your original dimension and closes that loop. It's final decision time. Stay here or go back.
She really wants to be in both time loops, but can't.
Right, because her mom's alive in this timeline, but she's not
in
with
love
Carter,
with Carter,
and Carter's with her
awful
friend, sorority-ish
friend,
mate,
yeah.
whatever.
But ultimately, at that point, she decides to stay in the current dimension because this is where her mother is alive.
I have to stay alive. I can't go back to that hospital. It's way too risky.
Which I understand.
Carter urges Tree to consider the consequences of living
I can't lose her again.
that life, living a life that is not truly hers, and states that her experience with grief helped shape the person she is now.
Yeah. Yeah. She goes to lunch with her parents and convinces them that they need to get as far away from campus as humanly possible because they are in danger. So they, get in the car.
I don't know how
Go.
she convinced them, seriously.
Didn't take much for her.
No, it
to
really
convince them.
didn't. Tree and her parents hide from the killer in a hotel, but that evening the news reports that Carter was murdered trying to save Lori at the hospital because Carter's just that kind of a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He can't help but to intervene.
Tree realizes as the lights start flickering where they're at that Ryan is on the verge of getting that loop closed, which would mean closing the loop with Carter dead. And she hurries into her car and takes the family car and heads back towards the
She's trying to get back to
power
the,
station.
She's trying to get to the university first, and she realizes she's not going to make it.
So she crashes her car into the power station, which I think there's going to be more protections than that.
I think I yelled bullshit. At the screen at that point.
Yep, me too.
Needless to say, she apparently dies or is electrocuted in some capacity, and the loop restarts, and Tree finally decides to return to her own reality. Actually, I think it was Carter that spurred her. Because he says, and I'm paraphrasing here, "You've been given a gift. You've been given a chance to say goodbye."
Yeah.
Not many people get that.
No, they don't.
So.
It was really at this point in the movie that I fucking lost it and just started bawling.
I didn't bawl.
I did not realize how much they were going to touch on grief.
I didn't bawl, but I definitely, and I'm getting teary-eyed just talking about it.
Yeah. But they address grief in a way that
these children need to be taught.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because let's face it, these are children.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're 18, 19 years old, maybe a little bit older than that. You
Right.
know, they're college kids.
Right.
You know?
They're definitely children, though. And they need to learn these lessons. And if you can get to them through something as silly as a time loop trapped in murder, whatever.
Yeah. Got to me, that's for sure. Anyways, so she wakes up again and she decides she's going to head to the sorority house to tie some things up before she leaves this dimension for good.
She tells Lori to end her affair with her professor, Gregory Butler, the same professor Tree was having an affair with in the first film, telling her he's just not worth it.
Yeah. She then heads to Danielle's room with the intent to apologize for misjudging her. But when she gets to Danielle's room, she finds that Danielle is cheating on Carter with some big dumb rock of a dude.
Fucking oblivious, this motherfucker.
Yeah. And decides to just leave it at that.
She then goes to have one last conversation with her mom, spurred by Carter saying, "Go say your goodbyes."
Yeah. She says this, I don't know if I can even read this. She says this line to her mom that honestly absolutely broke me.
She says, "People say, I love you all the time. It's not until you can't say it to that person's face anymore that you really realize you mean it. Those of you that know me in person, are friends with me on Facebook, know that I make a post every December. And I just made one this past December on the anniversary of my father's death, urging you to hug your family when you see them like it's the last time you ever will see them alive, because you just never know."
Yeah. That line broke me. Because, yeah, I mean, it's very, very poignant, you know? You don't realize how much you love someone until you can't tell them to their face anymore.
We're gonna take a minute, folks. Didn't know you'd be coming here for therapy sessions, did you?
I didn't know this movie was going to break me the way it did. Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Right.
At all.
After saying goodbye to her mom, she heads back to the science lab to finally close the loop and go back to her previous dimension.
Yeah. And just as they are about to activate the reactor, Dean Bronson shows up and confiscates the reactor, locking it in his office. Which wasn't supposed to happen until the 19th. She even says that. You're not supposed to come till tomorrow. So, yeah.
Believing she's too weak to survive another time loop, and let's face it, she probably fucking is.
For sure. For sure.
Tree insists they retrieve the device today.
One of those, excuse me, you guys, I'm still just, hope you don't mind me crying on screen.
She's a little verklempt right now.
I'm a little bit clenched. I got snot coming out of my nose.
Talk amongst yourselves.
I'll give you a topic.
Paranormal.
Internal combustion engines were neither internal nor combustion disc. Okay, I'm good. Really.
For those of you that didn't get that reference, it's an old SNL skit from Mike Myers.
Now I'm getting emotional. I'm a little verklempt.
You're verklempt. I'm verklempt.
I'm sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. There it passed.
The group enlists Danielle to distract...
Who has been studying...
Yes, to be
to
a blind
play-
person. To play
to
Helen
play
Keller,
Keller.
right? Yeah.
It's just so amazing what she did with those people in the attic.
She's so dumb. So they enlist Danielle to distract Bronson by pretending to be a blind French exchange student.
She's able to steal his keys, giving them to Tree and Carter so they can get the reactor and get the keys back to the Dean before he realizes they are gone. But not before a hilarious knockdown.
I mean, she straight up fucking bashes him in the nose with her cane.
Like she breaks his fucking nose.
Yeah, for sure.
Ends up with like 2 tampons sticking out of his nostrils.
Literally.
And shit.
It's hilarious. As Ryan readies the device, Tree goes to the hospital to rescue Lori from Toombs, who she shoots and kills right before he tries to kill Lori. But
a second Babyface Killer appears and traps Tree and Lori and is revealed to be none other than Professor Gregory Butler.
Yup.
That I did. I swear I didn't see it coming, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what it was that, like, first off, I think when he came in to Tree's room,
You thought something was off?
I thought something was off about him then. That was when I was like, I'm pretty sure it's him.
Well, I can
And
tell
then I started thinking about it, and I was like, that makes sense, actually. For it to be him trying to get rid of Lori. That's why Lori keeps getting killed. That's what led me to
I mean, no, it makes perfect sense when you look at it from an analytical point of view. I was kind of like engrossed in the mechanics
story
of the
it.
film.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Who's been trying to kill Lori, so no one would find out about their affair.
Yeah.
However,
out of nowhere, Dr. Butler's wife, Stephanie, fucking appears and shoots Lori in the gut.
You see, there's one little detail you failed to realize in all this.
Oh, really? What's that? Me.
What? Yeah.
we have a third killer?
Yeah, revealing she is in league with her husband because she wasn't about to let anybody take her lifestyle away from her.
Yeah, apparently she knew all about the affair and waited until this day to fucking do anything about it. Are you serious?
I don't know.
Really? Okay, whatever. Gregory then betrays and kills her as well, saying, I want a divorce.
Yeah.
It's because he's British.
Yeah, what a twat. Anyways.
Waffle.
Butler then goes after Tree, but she outsmarts him and kills him by turning on an MRI machine. So they basically, she ends up in the MRI room.
You're screwed.
Now here's another... you guys heard me say I worked in an X-ray file room. Maybe that was on our podcast. If you watched or listened to our podcast yet, It might not be out yet.
It may not.
It might not be out yet at this point. At any rate, I worked in an X-ray file room. I transported patients sometimes when they needed help transporting patients, and there is no way in hell that there's going to be a metal wheelchair in that room. Period. It's just not going to happen. They wouldn't allow it.
Well, I also have a problem with the mechanics of what actually kills him. So
yeah, because I mean, he gets pinned by the wheelchair against the MRI machine, and then she pulls out the screwdriver, which she asked if she could borrow earlier, and holds it and just like lets it go, and it stabs him in the chest.
Yeah. So here's the problem with this: the MRI machine's about 3 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
It's a large circular tube with the magnets through the tube.
Yeah.
Okay. She is on the fucking ground.
Yeah.
She's holding the screwdriver like this. It would not have traveled up into his fucking chest. At bare minimum, it would have hit him in the dick.
Yeah. True. And I also had a moment of double tap, please. Please make sure that dude's dead.
No shit, because there's no
all
guarantee.
that was a screwdriver. Like, no.
I mean, it was a screwdriver that was that
so
fucking long.
stab him about 10 more times with the damn screwdriver. Make sure that motherfucker's dead.
I mean, she's not Sam Carpenter here.
True.
Alright. Anyway, somehow Lori survives, because what better place to get shot at than a hospital, am I right? Unless you're in any other fucking horror film!
Yeah, this movie! Finally! A fucking horror movie where the trope of empty hospitals is not true.
Well, it was true when the initial gunshots happened and everything like that.
Yeah, but like for the most part, like this is a fully staffed, functioning hospital with real people in it and real nurses and people coming in and out of the elevators and stuff like that. Like, it's very much a real hospital. It makes me happy.
I mean, compared to some of the other ones that we've been examining over the course,
especially recently.
Right.
God.
I don't know what it is. If we just picked ones that are heavy with hospital scenes, we did not intend that, by the way.
Sorry, guys. It was an accident. I promise.
But as a result, we did discover a trope.
A little bit in the next one, but they're.
But as a result, we discovered a trope that we had never noticed before.
Yeah, for sure. But it's definitely there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the lab, Tree and Carter kiss as the reactor activates, sending Tree back to her original dimension on September 18th.
Technically, when they kiss, they don't even actually get to kiss.
Yeah.
They fall where they were initially going to fall on the 19th.
Right. Exactly.
The blast quite literally resets everything, and Tree and Carter kiss again because when they wake up...
Danielle?
Who?
Yep. And then it's cut to credits, baby, and that is it for our story.
You did watch the post-credit scene, right?
What?
The post-credit scene, the scene that plays after the credits.
The what?
So anyway, in the post-credit sequence, we see Tree, Carter, Smear, and Dre picking up trash on campus when a bunch of black SUVs show up on campus.
I did watch past the credits. I knew. So here's the thing. Hallie told me, like, a few months ago that she always watches through her credits all the way to the end because otherwise it keeps popping up of, are you finished watching? And since we share a Vudu, now I do that too to make sure that it doesn't upset Hallie because I don't want to mess with her Vudu. It's hers. She curates that shit. She allows me to use it. So now I always let everything play through. So yes, I did watch.
I mean, there are post-credit scenes that do actually make or make sense, unless it's Stream 6. And if you watched our last video, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Anyways, the group is escorted by agents to a DARPA laboratory.
Fuck DARPA.
Where the reactor has been moved for further experimentation.
Did they move it, or did they build their own version of it?
No, they stole that shit.
I think they built their own version.
I don't think they knew how to build their own version.
I mean, they were clearly monitoring what he was doing. They probably built their own version and didn't know how to fucking work it, what it was. Right. And they were like, well...
Right, they're like,
let's be the people that
go
actually...
get those kids! Go get them kids!
Right. Which is really quite funny because at this point, Tree knows more about the damn thing than fucking Ryan does.
Oh yeah, for sure. She's done every algorithm.
When the agents say that they want to test subject in order to see how the machine works, Tree says, "I've got the perfect one for you."
In her bedroom, Danielle wakes up screaming in horror. And that is the end.
I'm kind of curious as to why she woke up screaming in horror. Like, how did she know that she was automatically in a
well,
fight?
maybe that's not the first time she woke up.
Fair.
That's what I assumed.
Fair.
Was that was not the first time that she woke up.
Fair. The only thing that I could think of is that maybe she wasn't in her bed that night, and then she wakes up and she's in her bed, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
Right?
Yeah. But I mean, I could see your point too.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and that's the end of this lovely story, my slashy friends. For me personally, this is a major bloody machete up.
Two to the fucking sky. This
I was
so much better than I anticipated it being.
It was better than the first.
It was way better than the first, and I'm so glad that they did this because it explained why she was in the time loop to begin with.
Yeah.
Why things were happening that were beyond her control and stuff like that. But also, if you've stayed through this video this long, thank you, by the way.
Yes.
You saw us break down because of the grief level that was addressed in it.
This movie has so much heart. It really does. It
for
touches...
a proto-slasher, because it's technically not a slasher, but I mean it's...
But it is. You know, it really is. It's got a slasher killer in a way. So yeah, it is
a masked killer that you don't... Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's a movie with way more heart than I was expecting at all. And really looks at grief in a way that I don't think a lot of movies look at grief. And I mean, look, I cried more in this video when we were recording than I did in the Babadook, you guys. God. I sobbed watching this movie. Anyways, let's get it out of here and let's tell the viewers... Let's tell them, Hallie! Let's tell them what we're doing next!
You can.
Okay. I will reach back. She doesn't even want to touch it. What's up with that? Boom, babies! We are bringing Art the Clown back to our set for Terrifier 2. So, make sure you come back next Friday when we will be breaking down Daniel Leone's Terrifier 2. Hopefully, slowly pulling Hallie to the dark side.
I'm already on the fucking dark side. There. I can't get any darker.
She's coming to the art side.
I can't get any darker. Until then, be sure to slash that subscribe button,
stab the like button,
and ring that gray bell so you don't get buried alive and stay up to date on everything we are doing on the tube of you.
And until next time, we will see you all
in the afterlife.